Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. I'm here at Taylor Photo, which is TaylorPhoto.com. I'm with Ron Eckert. Ron, how's it going again?
Good afternoon, Jared. How are you?
I'm doing well. So what we're here to do, well, basically, I've got some big-ass prints again that came out of a cool machine, which Ron's going to talk about in a minute, and we're going to be here encapsulating them so that they can hang in my loft with all of the other 20-some prints that I've had made here at Taylor Photo to basically look awesome when we go in there. So what we have here is a 40 by 60. We're going to be encapsulating 3 of them and one 30 by 45. Is that correct?
45, that's right.
All right, so we've got these big prints. What is the process that we go through here to make these prints?
Well, one of the things we discovered, Jared, was that pretty much anything from 1620 and larger needs to be mounted, laminated, capsulated, something to protect it. You invest a lot of money in a big print like this, they look totally awesome. You want them to last for a good long time. So the process is that 2 thin sheets of plastic basically go on both sides of the prints with heat and seal that print completely. So in a sense, it's waterproof.
All right, so basically it's protecting these prints, which, if you wanted to get something like this framed, being that it's so large, 1, it's going to be extremely heavy, and 2, it's going to be extremely expensive. Right. And this is a very economic way to preserve your prints. It's a great way to travel with your prints. And as we've seen in my loft, it's a great way to actually show your prints. So in terms of the print, what is the machine called? What's the process that we're going through here, and what paper are we using?
Well, we start off by making, from your digital file, making a print on real photographic paper, Fuji Crystal Archive paper, glossy in your case. And then the file goes from a standard computer to a ZB Kimura printer.
So basically, it's instead of going right from a negative like we used to do, it's a digital file that gets literally, there's a laser inside that Kimura printer that just etches, I like to say etches, but it exposes the paper to this laser, giving us the prints that you see here on the table, and that's a cool process.
That's correct.
So once it's out of that machine, you take it to, where do you take it?
Yeah, then from there it gets rolled up in the dark and goes to our main dark room, where we then put the paper through a RA4 color paper processor.
Right.
And it comes out the other end dry. Then we will trim it down to the proper size, cut off these white borders, and then start the encapsulation process.
So what's cool about this is that it's the traditional way. It's a continuous tone print. So whereas inkjets, I know we're not going to go into detail about that, whereas inkjets are dots, that's not continuous. That's little dots, and you could squeeze more dots in there, but this is continuous tone. So this is just keeps going and going, and it's beautiful color, but it starts with a good file. So if people are not sending you good files, it kind of makes it hard to make prints like this. So that's why we shoot raw, start with the best, don't crop in camera. What are other things, or don't crop post camera? What are things that you look for in your files that you're getting to go to print?
So from the raw, they're converted usually to a TIFF file. We go into Photoshop, review the file, look at how bright the highlights are, see if there's good shadow detail, try to come up with some compromise in between there. And then pretty much anything you would have traditionally done in darkrooms years ago, burning, dodging, cropping, those kinds of things you would also do. Once the file is prepared, we would normally make a small, maybe 8 by 10 proof print, make sure there's no imperfections we might have noticed on the screen. And then from there it goes to the big printer, and basically what ends up happening is colored LED lights put the image back onto this photographic paper in the dark.
Right.
And then we take it to the processor and print that film out.
I mean, it's a great way of doing it. I mean, I like the continuous tone prints. I like the RA4 process. That's basically any type of print that's going through a wet process. It goes in blank on one side, comes out exposed to exposed properly on the other side.
Jerry, one of the things I just wanted to mention briefly is the file size. We kind of have a rule of thumb here that the larger the file, the larger you can make your print. Sometimes, as you know, people don't shoot full frame.
Right.
I know you shoot raw. That gives you the bigger file to start off. Then we make some slight corrections, and you're ready to make these awesome prints. But file size is very, very important. Obviously, the bigger the file, the bigger we can make you a good print.
And the cleaner the picture, the properly exposed, all of the same things that go into making a good image will, if it's out of focus, just a bit, you're not going to get a 40 by 60 out of it, and you probably shouldn't try. You know, all the traditional things that go into photography go into making these big prints. You've got to get it right as much as possible. Have those raw files. Don't crop so much. The more you crop, the more you're going to see, you know, issues in a final print.
Correct.
So in terms of the encapsulation, I love the style of encapsulation because I could literally roll up my whole loft of photos and put it in my big blue tube and ship it out anywhere around the world as a gallery show. So the process is it runs through a big machine. It's like
Yeah, we'll go over there and take a look in a few minutes. Basically, it's a big roller transport machine with heated rollers that heat up this plastic film and put it on both sides of your print. It makes it a little bit stiffer and prevents it from getting any kind of wrinkles or crinks in it, and totally protects it for years to come.
Right, so it is archival.
Oh yes, totally archival.
And the crystal archival paper is archival. I love the color that comes out of this. But the encapsulation, the reason I went with it back in the day and continue to go with it, one, it's consistent. You know, I can make a print now and then in a couple of years we can do it again and encapsulate it with the same technology. But I like that it hangs up on my walls easy. I do put push pins through that extra plastic that we have room for because that is what I found to be the best way to hang these things. And you know, it's much less expensive than trying to get things framed, you know.
Absolutely.
So what other uses are there for the encapsulation and big prints like this?
Well, mostly it's a protection kind of a thing, but also the fact that now it becomes waterproof. Now, I'm not saying leave it outside in the hurricane, but for most places there's a lot of humidity change. And if you just hang a print up without any protection, as in mounting or encapsulation, after a while that print is going to sort of find its own level. And a large print, for example, a large panoramic, may start to sag in the middle.
Yeah.
And you won't get that with any kind of encapsulation.
Right, and that's true. And even when you do stuff with frames and glass, they do get moisture behind them. And this is something that's totally sealed and protected. And I think it's the best way, at least that I found for myself, to go from a digital file to a real wet process print opposed to an inkjet, and then to have it encapsulated so that it's better protected and can be displayed very well.
Correct. You might recall many years ago, often a glossy print might stick to a piece of glass.
Right.
You just had it in your house, sitting on a piano or something. After a while, with the moisture changing up and down, humidity from the summer to the winter, for example, that glass, it might stick to the glass. That won't happen with these prints ever.
Right.
You'll have a nice, clean print. Like you're saying, you can easily transport them without any damage, and you can easily hang them up, and they have a terrific look. And as you know, when you make a big print like this, it leaves a big impression.
Yeah, and we didn't even discuss that. And I'll just say to you guys out there, a lot of people don't make prints anymore. But if you want to make a big impression on somebody, you need to do something different. And sitting in front of the computer or looking at a picture on your iPad is not going to make an impression of this modest Yahoo shot that's 40 by 60. When a musician or a company or anybody walks into my loft where I have meetings and they see 20-some prints on the wall and they're this big, they're going to see instantly that I do quality work. And that if I can make a file this big, well, I can certainly make a file for just about anything that they may ever need. So Ron, thank you very much for taking the time again. For more information on any of this, Ron's email is going to be his personal email, well, his personal work email. If you want to give out your personal one later, we can do that. But so popping up on the screen is the information. If you want to get in touch with him to make some prints, definitely ask for the Fro price. They'll take care of you. I'd call them if you are looking to do any size large print. If you go to a school or you are a school and they're looking to do just any other type of transferring of old slides, copying of old photographs and doing all of that stuff, then you want to definitely give them a call. That's going to be about it. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya!